Hello, what is up? What's good? Welcome into the OnlyBets Sports Podcast, Wednesday edition, alongside Stern Bets. Drew Lukey, I'm the Prince of Picks. Got a great show lined up for you guys today. We're going to be covering the World Cup that was yesterday. Of course, we got more World Cup action today, 4 more games that we'll be covering some of those here on the show for the tomorrow games. Actually, today's games we covered on yesterday's show, but we'll cover some of tomorrow's games here today. Of course, we got action in the major leagues. Got a nice slate here in the Major League Baseball, so I'm sure the boys will have something for us there. I got a few picks as well. We're gonna have golf here coming up here this weekend. We got the PGA Open as the tournament here gets underway starting Thursday. Of course, we're going to have our main man, Brian Liberati, former PGA Tour member, a great golf capper. He'll be jumping on here shortly, giving us some of his best plays, looks, and analysis here for the upcoming tournament. And of course, we got the W as well. Got a full slate of WNBA. So nice little slate here of sports that we'll be covering here over the landscape of today and this weekend. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let me bring in Moshe, my co-host, Mr. Stern. Good morning, dude. What's going on out there in Philly? We got a rainy, stormy morning here in Chicago. Nice little summer storm going on here. But how y'all doing over there?
Oh, it's nice here. It's real nice, mid-80s, got a little bit of breeze going. I mean, honestly, this is baseball weather here on the East Coast. We're getting into the summer. I cannot be more excited. We're on quite a roll in the MLB. Went 1-0 yesterday. Angels first 5, money line -120. Cash it. They were winning 5-0 by the end of the 5th inning. So very nice cash indeed. Looking forward to later in the show where I have a first 3 money line on a team that, isn't hitting well, but I think they're going to hit well today. Drew, welcome in, buddy. Also, how did you do yesterday?
Yeah, I went 0-1. Logan Gilbert ended up pitching actually like really well, surprising, went 7 innings. So, is what it is for that front.
Oops, couldn't find that mute button. Prince, how did you do yesterday?
So officially we went 2-2 yesterday. We struck out on the baseball picks. Unfortunately, we had the Cubs and the Rockies over 9. I think that would have ended at 7 runs, so we missed that by a couple of runs. Then we had a two-pick parlay, team total over 2.5 with the Nationals and the Tigers. The Nationals did cover, but the Tigers ended up with just 2 runs. We just needed 1 run more from the Tigers. We were just a run shy of hitting that parlay. But we did hit both of our World Cup plays that we gave out on Monday. Again, we give out these plays 24 hours ahead of time. So the World Cup plays for yesterday were actually given out on Monday's show, and both of those hit. We had Argentina on the money line, plus under 3.5 goals. Of course, that one covered. Shout out to Messi with a hat trick. What a performance from him. And then we also hit on both teams to score between Austria and Jordan. That turned out to be a really fun game. Late one for the folks on the East Coast. But nevertheless, we went 2-0 in our World Cup plays. We've been crushing in the World Cup. We are currently on a 14-7 run, I believe, in the World Cup pre-match play. So we're absolutely crushing it here. And we'll see if we can continue that momentum going on today.
Yeah, looking forward. Also, Brian, welcome in. Thank you so much for being on our show. Again, this is 3 weeks in a row. You have the U.S. Open. Oh, Prince, I know you said that I should say it, but what was your stat one more time on the U.S. Open?
So let me find it here because I did I texted it to.
Oh, sorry, I have it right here. I have it right here.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
Give you the appropriate credit that you deserve.
Here I got it. Okay. I'll go ahead. Yeah, I got it here. Yeah, no, you're good. Yep. All right. So we do have the U.S. Open here, in New York, of course. And this is one of the hardest courses on tour. Of course, Brian is going to speak more to this here, as we get into it. But this is from what I've seen here, one of the hardest courses on tour, maybe the hardest course. And only 3 players, from my research here, have ever finished this tournament under par. So that just goes to show just how difficult this course is, which is funny, coming off of last week on the RBC Canadian course there. That was one of the easiest courts. And now you go to maybe one of the easiest courts, maybe the most difficult course on the tour here. Of course, Brian can speak more to that as we get into it.
Yeah, I'm excited. All right, Brian, we're bringing you in early here. U.S. Open, break it down. What are we looking at? What are some of the metrics that we should be looking at? Are we looking at long ball strikers? Are we looking off tee to green? Are we looking at putters? What's going to really do it today, or I should say this weekend, for this amazing tournament here?
Good morning, Motion, everybody. Prince is right. Shinnecock Hills and probably Oakmont near outside of Pittsburgh are probably the 2 hardest courses on the U.S. Open tours. Really what I would look at this week, certainly long ball hitters are good. they've allowed them to have the fairways much wider, 48 yards in average, where in 2018, the fairways were only 28 yards width in average. So they've allowed them to open up the course a little bit more. So definitely long hitters, but also too, the guys with their irons, they need to be very accurate with their distance control. The greens are almost like 6,000 square feet, pretty good size, but in reality, I would say they're only about 4,000 square feet because there's so many drop-offs on the front, the back, the side of the greens. So they can only use so much of the green to put the flag sticks. Also, too, around the green, they're going to have some really tough bunker shots out of the fescue, that longer grass. Those are probably the keys. Good long driver, precise iron player with his distance, and a wonderful short game.
So I guess that's why most people end up over par, because you really have to have a complete perfect game and be in rhythm and be able to do it for 4 days to really accomplish this incredible feat, right?
Absolutely. And also, just quickly, just a couple miles away, there's water. There's Shinnecock Bay, I think it's called. And what's interesting, that from there to the golf course, the tallest building is only 4 stories high. They get a lot of wind off the water coming into the course, so it's wide open. There's maybe 6 trees on the course, so it can get brutal, like 20-25 mile-hour winds, which they're expecting tomorrow.
Is there a difference? Now, I know in golf, sometimes the morning crew is maybe a little bit better, more reliable to go low in the first round, just simply because the greens are usually a little bit softer, they land nicer. You don't necessarily have the heavier wind conditions in the afternoon. Is that something that we're looking forward to on Thursday?
Yeah, a great point, Moshe. They call it like the morning wave and the afternoon wave of players. Um, what everybody's talking about for this week, the first 2 days, the players that tee off Thursday morning, Friday afternoon, it looks like with the weather that they've got the best chance of shooting lower. Of course, it doesn't mean that'll happen, but it's probably something to look at.
Yeah, I'm very excited for this. You should be able to find full coverage on cable TV from what does it start? 8 a.m.?
Really early till like 8 p.m.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so much fun.
It'll
All
be
right,
on all day.
what are we looking for betting wise on this weekend?
Okay. What I'm going to do here, so I don't know if I'd call all these official plays. I'm trying to give people options this week because this is really difficult, this course. You just do not know what's going to happen. So on some of I'm going to offer a couple players on some of these different wagers. Like for winner, I like 2 players. I like John Rahm at plus 1175, and I like Matt Fitzpatrick at plus 2,300. Rahm is playing fabulous this year. I mean, he hits it long, great short game, great iron player, and he's really learning not to get mad at himself on the course. I noticed at the PGA, when he missed some putts in the past, he would go nuts. He really seemed to have calmed down, and I think that's going to help him a lot. Now, Matt Fitzpatrick, he's won 3 times already this year. He's probably the best player we've had on tour all year. He can hit the ball really low. He can hit the ball right to left. Wonderful short game. This year is the most precise he's ever been with his iron play. So those are the 2 guys I'm looking at for winners. Now, top 20 and ties. Again, that's really important, everybody. I pick top 20 and ties. You can pick just top 20. You get better odds, but I want the ties also. I really like Patrick Reed at plus 152, and I love JJ Spawn at plus 176. Reed played here in 2018. I think he finished 2nd or 3rd. He's having a great year. He's won twice on the DP Tour. He finished 10th at the PGA, 12th at the Masters this year. He's going to be on tour at the end of August. He's graduating back to the PGA Tour. Wonderful short game. Very innovative with his shots. JJ Spawn, tee to green. I think he's the 6th best player on tour this year. Really good short game. His putting has finally come along the last 3 weeks. So I really like those guys. Again, top 20 and ties. Then for top 30 in ties, I have one player I'm looking at, Cameron Smith. He's on live. Horrible driver. I hate to say this, horrible driver, but his iron play, his short game and putting, as good as anybody in the world. So he should be able to get away with his iron play because the fairways are much wider this year. And then I do have a top 40 and ties play, Alex Noren. He's at plus 100. This guy's a bulldog on the course. He never gives up. He can get really streaky and go on runs. Great short game, great driver of the ball, really good iron player. Now, I also have a couple things I'm looking at just for Thursday's round only. I like a couple 3-ball round 1 matchups. It's what it's under on DraftKings. I like Patrick Reed over Kurt Kitayama at minus 128. You know, if they tie, you don't lose. He just has to win by at least one shot. And the other 3-ball I like is Victor Hovland over Bryson DeChambeau at minus 105. I know there's a lot of Bryson fans. I like him too. He's playing horrible this year. Terrible. He missed the cut in the PGA. He missed the cut in the Masters. He hasn't played well on live this year. His short game has been horrible this year. Driving's been very inconsistent. So I don't know if he's going to do well at all. Then I have 2 plays for tomorrow also. I like Bryson DeChambeau to shoot over 73.5. So that means he would be 4 over or more at minus 115. And I also like Sepp Straka over 73.5 at minus 116. There's going to be some really high scores this week. You're not going to see much at all. And Prince was right. Only 3 guys in the history of this tournament at Shinnecock Hills have been under par. So it's going to be a bloodbath for a lot of guys.
I absolutely love it. Just for you guys listening, if you've been following me for a while, unders are really my type of sweat. I really enjoy them. And in golf, overs are the unders. I think this is phenomenal. I really want to point out here one of your plays here that I really, really, really like here. I keep saying here, I apologize. Patrick Reed. Shout out to Sia Najad, the host of The Early Edge, also friend and sometimes listener and comes onto the show. He likes Patrick Reed, end of round 1 leader, plus 4,500 over on DK. I mean, I'm definitely playing everything that you're saying here, but I highly recommend sprinkling a little bit on Patrick Reed to be round 1 leader as well. But yeah, when I'm looking at my top 10 projections here, your 2 winners, Matt Fitzpatrick and John Rahm, come 4th and 6th on my model. So definitely in favor, definitely looking forward to it. And also shout out to you last week, Sam Burns. Now he didn't win it. He kind of crumbled there at the very end, but he was gosh darn close.
he was right there, and he really was. And I did good with my props. I was 3-1-1 last week. Yeah, with my golf props. And then I had a top 20 that won. And then Brooks Koepka, unfortunately, I had him as top 10. He had to withdraw because of a hand problem.
Yeah, but he was tracking well early in that tournament.
Oh, he was within 2 after 2 rounds. In fact, I should most quickly say this. I'd be careful about Koepka this week. I saw his press conference yesterday. He said his hand is getting better, but I looked on DraftKings. There was no like over under score for him tomorrow. So I'd be a little wary of him.
You know what? That's a really good warning, especially for someone of his caliber who's so popular among people and the betting public. That is something to keep aware of. And you never know. One little tweak goes wrong. He's not going to. I mean, to be fair, it might have just been extra cautionary because of the U.S. Open this week. But if someone really does have a problem, they're not going to mess up their entire year of golf for one tournament, right?
Well, just quickly, I'm sorry to interrupt. The reason he withdrew in his left hand, his top hand, because he's a right-hander, he had numbness in his ring finger and pinky finger. He couldn't hold on to the club real well, and he felt the club almost twisting in his hand at impact. Yikes, he said it's a little better right now, but he said it's not 100% right now.
Amazing reporting, along with sports betting.
Thank you.
Prince, any thoughts on the U.S. Open? Any questions that you have for Brian? And then I'll pass it over to Drew for the same question.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely do. First of all, of course, Brian, thanks again for jumping on with us this morning. Always a pleasure to have you on here with us. I always look forward to Wednesdays now, so hopefully we can keep this going. But I do have a couple questions for you. So one question I have, I was listening to another podcast early this morning, and they were covering the tournament here coming up. And one play that they gave out, and I'm curious what your thoughts are on this. Andrew Putnam to make the cut at -110. Do you have any thoughts on that at all? I know I'm just kind of throwing that out there, but in any just off the top of your head, any thoughts on that?
Great question, Prince. Putnam, the only thing I don't like about him, he's a very short hitter. He keeps the ball in the fairway a lot, but he doesn't hit it real long. And his short game at times can get a little off. I mean, I like the price. I don't know if I would jump on it, but I'm kind of hedging on that one.
Okay. Okay, a little bit of hesitancy on that. Okay,
I will
no
say
problem.
that my model does not support it.
Okay, cool. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, just looking for extra observation on that. And then my other question for you. So you were talking about John Rahm, right? Maybe one of the favorites here to win it all. I know we don't talk about Live Golf here very much. Of course, he is on the Live Golf Tour. He's been having a lot of success on the Live Golf Tour. He's won a couple tournaments over there. He's got a great green and regulation percentage right now. It's over 77%. He's been really on fire on that tour. My question to you is, does that momentum, in your opinion, does that carry over to PGA tournaments, or is that kind of a whole separate entity in itself?
Another great question, Prince. I believe, I don't know if I would say it carries over, but for him, he loves the major championships. He lives for that. So, I mean, it definitely helps that he has been playing well, but he gets so fired up for these majors. So I do think for him, it definitely carries over.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I kind of figured that because it's still golf, right? Maybe it's a different tour, but still you're looking at the same mechanisms and the same things, the qualities and whatnot. Okay, and then I guess one more question I would have for you here. And sorry to bombard you with all these,
Okay.
but my only other question would be, so we were talking about, you brought up Brooks Koepka as somebody maybe to fade. Is there any other golfers in this tournament that maybe you see are overvalued, and maybe the public might, or we here might want to stay away from, that might look like a good price, but it's really not?
Well, definitely, I brought him up a couple times. I think Bryson DeChambeau is overpriced. People love the guy, and I get it, but I don't expect good things from him this week. I mean, I wish he would play well, but I don't have a lot of hope for him.
Okay. So pretty much those two then. Okay. All right. Perfect. Sounds
Can
good.
I
That's the only question that I
add
have.
one more question for you before I
Yeah.
turn
Go
it
ahead.
over to Drew? What's the deal with Scotty Scheffler, man? Why is he not
Okay,
winning
great. You
tournaments
know what?
yet?
That's a good question because I crack up most. Everybody's dogging him this year. I mean, okay, he's only won once. I shouldn't say only. He's won. He's finished top 4 7 times this year. He's made every cut. He's just a hair off. Sometimes his putting goes a little haywire, and every once in a while his iron play goes off a little bit. But I mean, truthfully, he's so close to having another unbelievable year. So, plus, truthfully,
Yeah.
I'd love to see him win because Sunday's his birthday.
Oh man.
And quickly.
Did we lose him? Motion,
Yes,
can
I
you
can
hear me?
hear you, and I can hear him too.
Am I going?
And
No,
the
we can
other
hear
thing
you.
is,
Did anyone hear me?
besides his birthday being
Give
Sunday,
me a thumbs up, guys, if you guys can hear me.
this is his chance to win, to have the Grand Slam, all 4 majors.
Do you think that it's worth a sprinkle here at $550? Because that's the best price I've seen in probably 3 years.
I was surprised it was $450 yesterday.
You know what? I'm putting a quarter unit on this.
I don't think it would hurt just a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't not. That's just too good of a price for someone who is so darn close. I really think it's coming sooner or later, and it's his birthday. I'll play that narrative every day.
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right. Okay. Half a unit. All right, Drew, any questions for the great Brian Liberati?
I think you guys answered it, but I'll touch on the Scotty thing. Definitely Brian makes a good point there. I love you mentioned with the Scotty thing. I think us as sports bettors, when we see, his odds are always insane, we have this idea where we expect him to win it all, which is unrealistic. He's actually having a better year than people expect. It's kind of, if you guys watch tennis, it's relatable to when we see in general, like when we saw Rafa Nadal in his prime, just like when he go to the French Open, he was always like plus 200 because he would win every French Open. And when he doesn't win, or something, it's like, okay, he's off. It may not be that he's off. It's just, he didn't win the tournament. So I think it's one of those things that we're seeing with Scotty because of the misconception with the odds we're seeing him for these tournaments.
You know who I'd compare it to a little bit? Paul Skeens. Is he having a down year? Sure. Is he bad? Absolutely freaking not. He is on the top 2%, 3% of the entire league. The same thing with Scotty Scheffler, like Brian said, like he is so darn close. If he just puts it all together for 4 rounds, he's going to dominate. And correct me if I'm wrong, Brian, but the way I see it is Scotty Scheffler will usually have like a miserable round 1. He'll pull it back round 2, and then Saturday kind of makes or breaks it, whether he's going to be landing in the top 5 or the bottom, or I guess top 20 or 30. But every single Sunday, he seems to turn it on, right?
Absolutely. I'm not quite sure why he's having the bad first round this year, because he hasn't in the past. But yeah, definitely in the next 3 rounds, he's his scoring average is the lowest the last 3 rounds of anybody on tour.
Yeah, I'm fascinated. I'm also fascinated, by the way, on the AM PM wave, to see if like people are requesting certain waves. I know you're not supposed to, but I know it happened once last year. And I'm wondering if that may be affecting him because he usually goes off later in the day. I believe they probably want everyone to see him in prime time, right?
Correct. But truthfully, that was the only time they could change that. Normally it's basically a blind draw. They change it up the morning, afternoon from tournament to tournament for these players. So they don't always get all the same morning, afternoon tee times.
All right. Excellent. Anything else that we should be looking out for? If somebody has a poor round 1, should we like kind of look for them to make the cut? Is there any kind of live looks or any thoughts that you have before we move on to the MLB?
You know what? At this course, I kind of want to wait and see the first round before I really say much because you just don't know.
Yeah, that's fair, especially in the conditions where you might have what you said, upwards of 20 miles per hour wind going off.
Yes.
So yeah, definitely great advice. All right, thank you, Brian. I really appreciate it. This is awesome and excellent. Yeah, definitely try to send me those plays so I can get them on our recap screen, and we'll definitely tweet it out. All right. Baseball and Brian, no pressure. Feel free to stay for the rest of the show. But again, absolutely no pressure. You do you. We did your segment. Obviously, I mean, we'll talk to you all day. You're an awesome, fun human being that we like having on our show. Prince, correct me if I'm wrong. Don't, please. All right, Drew, where are we going in the MLB?
Yeah, I'll go to the Rays game. I think on DK, this is really good value for pitcher. We have Shohei Ohtani, I think, for Shane McClanahan. We have Shohei at 17.5 for only minus 157, his over, which I think is insane value. He's covered this in every single start but 1. I think he's had 13 starts this year. So this over 7.5 is 12-1. Not to mention they are on a 6-man rotation. So last time he pitched was June 10th, so he's had 6 full days of rest. He's still, of course, going for the Cy Young. He's only going to be 3rd in odds. One of the reasons why people may say he's like plus 800 or something right now, and you see Mizorowski and Christopher Sanchez is because of the innings pitched in general right now. But he's still going to, of course, go for it. He may not have the innings that these two may have, but give me over 17.5 for Shohei Ohtani. This is insane value in my personal opinion. I think it's the right read, even if he doesn't get it, because he does this all the time.
Yeah, I really like this look. Obviously, Shohei is one of the premier pitchers in the league, and I think a lot of it gets overlooked simply because of how great of a batter that he is. Most of the focus is on there. So yeah, I'm definitely interested in backing Shohei, especially against the Rays, who have not been hitting very well early in games. I mean, we saw it. It was 0-0 at the end of 5. It was 1-0 at the end of 7 yesterday. These are not, if I had to take a team to go out and hit, it's going to be the Dodgers. I cannot see the Rays really putting up that much of a fight against Shohei in a really good groove. Now, I'm going to go with the Mets first 3 money line, -130. I understand that the Mets are not hitting very well, especially on the road, but I do like them to bounce back here. This is the 3rd game of the series where they basically got blown out twice. To be fair, last night was only 5-3, but I'm going to call it a blowout. They have the young ace, Nolan McLean, on the mound. I really want to be backing him here. I think this is a bounce back spot for him where he has been a little shaky lately. But he has a 3.44 ERA on the road. Batters are hitting just 162 with an OPS of 514 the first time around the order. Underlying metrics are excellent. 6% barrel rate, 36% hard hit rate, and a 28% strikeout rate. Like I said, not exactly been himself lately, but I think this is a spot to turn it around. His strikeout rate is elite, 29%. Like I mentioned, the Reds strike out 28th most in the league. So I think this is a really good spot, especially since the Reds hit really well 2 days in a row. They don't typically have that consistency about them. They're also facing, the Reds are starting Nick Lodolo, similar to yesterday. This is someone who has had trouble at home. He has given up multiple runs in every single game except for one. To be fair, it was only 6 games, but still, 5 games, he's given up at least 2 runs, and he's scoring an ERA at home of 5.91. Opponents first time around the order are hitting 315 with an OPS of 939. Like I said, I know the Mets are not great offensively, especially on the road, but I think this is the spot. If McLean could keep them to 0 runs, I think we can win this out here. Worst case scenario, I think we get a push, but I think the -130 is well worth it. Drew, any thoughts there before we move to Prince's picks?
I think this is good value for the Mets as well. Something else I'll mention is it was funny. I was watching some of the Giants game yesterday, and I don't know if you guys saw. It was funny. It was like pouring rain, and they're waiting for like the rain to stop. And right now, you'll see it's 3-2 on sports betting. I think they're going to start, and then they might do a doubleheader. But it was really like 3-2 going to the bottom of the second. You see these guys just drenched, and then the umps were just trying to get it going, but the whole infield was absolutely destroyed, so they had to stop it. So we have early baseball to look forward to whenever they started.
Yeah. Love day baseball. Nothing better than that. We also have Day World Soccer, which we will get to very soon. But first, Prince, what do you got in the MLB today? Tough loss yesterday, that Rockies-Cubs game. Cubs just fell apart. You had 5 runs the first 5 innings, and then just 2 runs after that from 2 bullpens that should be giving up runs. Also, I will mention a lot of people left on base. So where are we going today?
Yeah, that was a tough beat for sure with that Cubs game, but we'll move on here. I got another team total parlay here, an over 2.5 parlay that we're gonna go with today. The first pick here that I'm looking at is going to be the White Sox. We're gonna take the White Sox here, team total over 2.5, taking on the Yankees. We do have good weather conditions here in New York. We got the 75 degrees with 11 miles per hour wind blowing right to left over at Yankee Stadium. So I think it's the good conditions here for the White Sox, who've been hitting the ball a little bit better recently. I like them to get 3+ runs here against the Yankees. And we're going to parlay that with the Cardinals at home here, taking on the Padres. Great conditions here in terms of the weather. We got a strong wind blowing out here in Cardinals Stadium. Sorry, I had it pulled up here. We're looking at 22 miles per hour winds. Incredible here. With 89 degrees temperature here. So great hitting conditions in this one. And I think the Cardinals at home should be able to get at least 3 runs against a Padres team that's been a little bit struggling lately. So give me the White Sox, Cardinals, both of them over 2.5 at -135.
Yeah, I like it. I'm a little bit nervous about the White Sox, but 2.5 runs is pretty low. Yankees bullpen is due to give up some runs. I don't think Carlos Rodon goes that deep into the game as he is continuing to stretch his arm out. Look out for walks. If the White Sox can get men on base, I think this line clears easily. If they don't, I think this might be hard. But again, 2.5 runs is not that hard to get across. And the St. Louis pick, I think that's a no-brainer. I think that's a really, really sharp look. I wouldn't even mind just taking the over in that game, honestly. I really like runs all over that place. Drew, any thoughts on Prince's plays?
No, I like him.
All right, Prince, anything else to add before we move on to World Cup?
No, well, let's go to the WNBA first, and then we can finish with
We had an off
the
day
World Cup.
yesterday.
Yeah.
We didn't have any plays. What was I looking at?
I know. No, we're gonna make up for it today. I got a few plays for you guys today. As we got a full slate here in the W, a 6-game slate, which is pretty much every team in the league is playing -2, which I believe is the Fever and the Dream. I think the only team that are not playing tonight. But in any case, here I do have some plays for you guys. In the W, of course, we've been crushing it in the W overall. So we'll see if we continue our run here in the WNBA. So first up here, I'm looking at the late game tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern tip-off. We've got the toilet bowl match here between the Seattle Storm and the Portland Fire. What I'm going to land on here, I'm going to take the under in this one, under 161.5. You're getting that -110. Reason for that being is you have two really bad offensive teams here. They really struggle to score the ball. Seattle is a top 6 team in the league defensively in terms of points allowed. So if you wanted to take Portland's team total under, you could. But I'm just going to take the game total under in general here. What the Fire do well, Storm are pretty good at defensively, which is the 3-point shot. So that's the one thing that Seattle does defend fairly well. That's one thing that Portland's strength is. So with that in mind here, I think we struggle to see points between two teams that are just struggling this season in general. So give me Storm Fire under 161.5, and that comes in at -110. My second play for tonight is going to be another toilet bowl match here. We're going to the slums of the WNBA, where we have the Washington Mystics taking on the lowly Connecticut Sun. Of course, the Sun coming to this one dead last in the league. 2-13 record. Mystics not much better, sitting at 5-7. What I landed on here, I'm just going to take the Connecticut Sun team total under 80.5 points. You're going to get that at -105. The Sun are the lowest scoring team in the WNBA currently. The Mystics, again, not too bad defensively, but offensively, again, very terrible. Bottom 3 in the league here. So you got two teams that really struggle to score the basketball. Mystics a little bit better defensively, so I think they should probably be able to shut down the Sun here and limit their point total. So I'll take Connecticut Sun team total under 80.5. That comes in at -105. And then my final play here for the W is going to be a 2-pick parlay here. We're looking at money lines. I'm going to take the Las Vegas Aces on the money line here in a bounce back spot, taking on the Phoenix Mercury. Of course, the Aces coming off of that shocking 30-point defeat against the Dallas Wings, a couple nights ago. So I think there's a good bounce back spot against a Mercury team that is very much struggling this season. So give me the Aces on the money line, and we're going to parlay that with the Golden State Valkyrie on the money line at home against the Dallas Wings. I think the Valkyrie at home are a much better team than they are on the road. They're currently sitting at 3-point favorites. I like them to get it done outright on the money line. So we'll take the Aces and the Valkyrie both on the money line, and that parlay comes in at +119.
What are you making up for lost time?
Yeah, pretty much. You get no plays yesterday, you get a 5-minute play for me today.
Yeah, and just in case you guys didn't hear this the last show, but let me look for it exactly. But I think you are 30-9 or something like that. Which one was it? 29-10. I think it's 29-11 now in WNBA over just the last month. So looking forward to these things.
we're gonna put that record up to the test today with all these plays. So let's see. But I feel pretty good about it. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah, let's roll. All right, Drew, any thoughts on the WNBA before we get to World Cup action? Which, by the way, correct me if I'm wrong, was yesterday the only day, Prince, where you had all 3 games ending by a score of more than 1 goal?
I'm not sure about that. I know the day before all 4 games ended in a draw, which was the first time that ever happened in World Cup history. But I don't know about yesterday. I'd have to fact check that.
I think each game ended 2 or 3 goals in favor of the favorites in each of those matches.
Yeah, that sounds right. It was 3-1, 4-1, and 3-1, and 3-1. Yeah, actually, I think you're right.
All 3 superstars scored. You had
because France won 3-1.
Yep. You had Mbappe score twice, which, by the way, the sickest goal I think I've ever seen.
You like that, huh?
God, that was
That
amazing.
was pretty ridiculous, wasn't it?
And then you had
He's so
Messi
good.
score a hat trick. Are
Yeah,
you kidding
incredible.
me?
Incredible, absolutely incredible. Well, what a legend he is, right?
Unreal.
I know I'm on the Ronaldo side of that argument, but man, he made a strong case last night. I'll tell you, that was pretty freaking impressive from Messi. I got to give it to him.
Yeah. Real quick, Drew, any thoughts to the WNBA, or what's our fact of the day for the World Cup?
Yeah, I actually did have a World Cup play too. That I did research.
bring
I
it to
basically
us.
just did like this quick
Ooh,
research on.
there we go. I like it, Drew. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hear Drew's World Cup plays first, and then I'll get to my plays, and then we'll get to his fact of the day. But go ahead, Drew. What you
I am
got for us, man?
seriously excited for this.
Yeah, same. What's up?
Yeah. So what I was like doing, because I was like looking at each game, and I was just like, I'm gonna do some research on this England game. So I like England 3-way money line for -140. They've won 11 of their 4 games under their manager Thomas. I think his name is Thomas Tuchel. They're also the only team in Europe to not concede a single goal during call. They won their last 4 tournament openers, and I think they're good value here. And not to mention, last time we saw Croatia in this kind of style of tournament again, the Euro Cup, they lost 3-0 to Spain. So I like England -140 on the 3-way money line.
I love
All
it.
right.
I'll tell you what. Since I mean, I gave it out yesterday, I think, but I'm on the same thing as you, Drew. Except I'm also going to be on the under 3.5, just to cut down the juice a little bit. Just because both of these teams are a little bit lower scoring in nature. I don't think we see 4 goals in this one. So, but I have the same play as you. England on money line. It's just I added under 3.5 goals to it. But I love that play a lot. I think it's a really solid look.
Also, just real
go.
quick, there is a DK promo where you can get if the match ends in a tie, you get your money back, and I would heavily recommend playing England on that promo if you're playing
Real
it.
quick, do we have that promo again today? Because I know we had it yesterday. I haven't looked at this morning. Is it available
I see
again?
it. I personally didn't
Okay.
play it yesterday because I didn't have time. But I see it on DK today.
All right, perfect. Yep, I think that's the one I'm going to go for then because I think the value there is really good, and we could see a draw as well. So getting your money back. Basically, what that is, guys, is you're getting draw no bet at the value of a money line. Just to clear that up,
Yeah, and also
so
if you are playing these heavily juiced money lines with the promo, go hedge on the double chance or on the other team to win, just so that you don't lose money just in case. I won 20 units on Sunday playing that strategy. It was the up one, so to be fair, it was a different promo, but we've all been playing it where you play the favorite on the up one, and then you play the underdog on the double chance, and hopefully you win twice.
The only caveat to that, you guys, just make sure you use a different book when you play that double chance, because a lot of books, I've had this experience before. If you play both sides using a promo, like say DraftKings does a promo, and you try to play both sides, they'll void your entire bet entirely.
Or
So
they
just
drop
to be
your promo
just
to
to be
$5.
or they'll drop your promo to $5 exactly. So they'll get you one way or another. So your best bet is to do the promo on DK and then find another book and play double chance or draw no bet or however you want to attack it on that.
Yeah, and we're not advertised, but Picket or Juice Reel are the 2 places that I use to A, track my bets, B, find the best prices along almost any sport on any book. So definitely shop your lines. That's generally how I get the best price possible at the time that I make my bets. Not advertised yet by them, but hey, if you guys are listening, please give us a shout out. We would love to be advertising, whatever, either way. All right, Prince, what else you got for us in the World Cup today?
Yeah, so of course, like I said, guys, we cover matches 24 hours in advance. So for today, we're going to look at tomorrow's matches here, where we've got 4 games again. Of course, we've got basically the second round starts tomorrow. So we got the second round of group stage matches. From Group A and Group B. A couple plays here I'm going to give out here on the show. What I like here, first up, we're looking at the 12 p.m. Eastern kickoff tomorrow in the afternoon or morning, depending on where you're at. We'll look at Czechia taking on South Africa. I like both teams to score in this one. You're going to get that at -105. We're looking at both of these teams, of course. Both of them lost their first group game of the group stage, and so they're both in a position where they need to go for the win here. They need all 3 points. 1 point probably isn't going to do them any good in this one. So I think you see 2 teams go for it. I don't expect South Africa to be quite as bad as they were in the opening game, of course. That was a tough spot for them to be in. Opening World Cup match, playing at Azteca Stadium in front of those crazy fans in Mexico. That would be a tough spot for any team to be in. So I think South Africa might have been a little bit overwhelmed by the situation and circumstances there. I don't think they're quite as bad as they played in that game. So I expect some sort of a bounce back here against Czechia, who, if you guys listen to my Futures podcast that I gave out for the group previews, I'm out on Czechia. I actually think they finished bottom of this group when it's all said and done. So I'm not going to commit to a side in this game necessarily, but I do think we see both teams go for it. Of course, both of them are in need of a win here in all 3 points. So give me both teams to score. South Africa, Czechia. You're going to get that at minus 105. Then the other play here that I'm looking at in terms of our free show play is going to be the late game here, second to late game, the 6 p.m. Eastern kickoff tomorrow. We got Canada, taking on Qatar. Qatar, of course, with the shocking 1-1 result against Switzerland. But they did not play good in that game, and I don't think that's really indicative of their futures here in this group stage. I don't expect much from this Qatari side. Canada, unfortunately, didn't come out with the win against Bosnia, despite having tons of chances to score. That's their bugaboo. They create a lot of chances, but they really are not clinical in front of the net. So for that reason, I'm going to take Canada on the money line. I think they still get it done against this Qatari side that is not very good, but I'm also going to take the under 3.5 goals in this one. So Canada money line plus under 3.5 goals. You're going to get that at minus 115. Another way to play this, if you want to play a Canada to win the nil, Canada to keep a clean sheet, and the money line, you can get that around minus 125, I think. I like that play too. Qatar really struggled to score goals. They struggled to generate chances. Against Switzerland, they really had no shots on goal until that final play of the game in which they did score. So Qatar just not a very good team, not good at generating chances. Canada is pretty stout defensively. So if you wanted to play that, you could. For me, I worry about some fluke penalty kick or some, maybe one counterattack and they score. When we saw Curacao score against Germany, we've seen some weird things happen in this tournament. So I don't want to get burned by that. So I'll just take the under 3.5 with Canada on the money line, and that comes in at minus 115.
Yeah, I like this a lot. I'm really on that BTTS as well in the South African game. I think that there's a lot of value there. And if you were watching South Africa's first game, they actually were very, very competitive, if not the better team in that first half. And then they really kind of crumbled towards the end there. Don't know if that was the heat, the humidity, or just the pressure on playing such a road environment, but I do expect them to bounce back.
Yeah, I think it was just the environment. Like I said, that's a tough spot for any team to be in. I mean, that's just you. You don't want to play the opening game of a World Cup at Azteca. That's just you're asking for trouble.
Yeah, 100%. All right, Drew, any thoughts? Any other thoughts in the World Cup? Do you have a fact of the day? Did we do that yet? I know that you mentioned one yesterday in our chat, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, we didn't do it, but yeah, Drew, you have our fact of the day here?
Yeah, I actually have a really cool one. It's not just but I can mention that too. I'll mention that real quick. There's been 55 hat tricks in history, so in honor of Messi. I know Mbappe did it last year, so that's really cool. I have a really fun one. So you guys know the fastest. I wanted to know the fastest ejection. Not just taken by it's not the baseball player, guys. Uruguay defender Jose Batista, 1986 World Cup. They were facing Scotland. He was ejected after, so he did a high tackle in 39 seconds. He was ejected with a red card at 52 seconds. You're probably thinking Uruguay probably lost. No, Uruguay held on with the draw in the group stage for literally the entire game, having literally 10 defenders, ended up drawing 0-0, which advanced them to the elimination round. So I think they didn't just get a guy ejected in 52 seconds, from the game. They ended up holding on, not allowing a single goal for basically 90 minutes. So.
That's incredible. Who was the opponent?
Scotland.
Makes sense. Sorry, Michael.
Oh, I forgot. I wanted to mention this yesterday when Michael was on our show. Did you see the home run at Fenway Park where that, 8-year-old Scotland fan caught the ball, and you can see it in his face? Because I correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure in European sports, you don't get to keep the memorabilia that flies out in the stands.
No.
Right? If
you got to give
soccer
it
ball
back.
gets kicked to you, you have to give it back. Baseball and American sports are all about that materialistic society where we're like, yeah, enjoy the game, and this is the stuff that you get. So like watching that kid's face, and I'm a Yankee fan. I am not a fan of Boston, but that was quite a moment, and a special one at that.
Yeah, it's
I
been
saw
really
that. It was
cool.
amazing.
Yeah, it's been really cool seeing all these like influx of Europeans, right, going to all these different events, sporting events, and public events and stuff like that. Just kind of seeing how they take in the American culture and stuff. I'm finding that really fascinating and really entertaining and just kind of cool.
Well, that's what makes baseball amazing too, because even in America, you're not allowed to do that. Well, football, and that's what I love about baseball in general, especially like you mainly just see it in the U.S. Of course, Japan, and that's the thing where someone you don't really see baseball, of course, where he's probably from in Scotland, and it's one of those where you have a soccer ball, if it gets hit you in this, you have to give it back, and he probably was like, oh my god, I could keep this. Because baseball is one of those, if you give it back, you could get like taken out of the game, like for like the fan interference thing. But of course, they don't do it to a kid. So baseball's like the opposite of all these other sports, which I love.
Yeah, I personally really enjoyed growing up going to baseball games. My dad had made it a mission to visit as many stadiums as possible growing up, and I have a bag of balls, maybe 40, most of them signed by stars from the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s through the mid 2000s, and definitely memories that I keep with me for the rest of my life. I would love to get them all verified, signed, and whatever. But for now, it's just a bag of balls next to my desk. That sounded wrong. I'm sorry. Anything else in the world of sports before we
I'm glad
get
you
to our
said that.
question of the day? As it came out of my mouth, I
I'm
knew it
sitting
was
here
wrong.
laughing the whole time you're saying it. I'm like, is he gonna comment on it? Is he gonna say anything? No.
Nothing from my side.
Prince, anything else from you?
No, nothing else other than your bag of balls. Other than that, no, or nothing else to say.
Oh, I'm gonna keep that next comment to myself. Brian, I don't know if you're still with us, but any last thoughts today? And if you don't want to answer this next question, that is 100% okay. But I was very curious to hear, because you play professional sports, right? I just want to hear like what was like a moment of like maybe fandom when you went in, a player that you like looked up to that you got to like sit in the locker room with, or any kind of cool experience that you may have had, either before, during, or after your professional career. I know that I mean, I think you're still a golf instructor, if I'm not mistaken, out in Missouri. So like, I'm sure that you meet a lot of really cool people and instruct some really cool talent. But anything else that you want to share with us? And if you're off, that's totally fine. We can move on to a different question. I have all 166 of them.
No, I'm here. I don't think I have anything else for the tournament right now. I will post some stuff as things go along on our the group chat and everything as the week goes on. Like I said, I'm just kind of waiting for tomorrow really to see what goes on and really to see what the weather's like. Because I know things are going to change really, really quick.
Yeah, like we talked about, that's fair. I think that's a really smart move. You never want to put all your eggs in one basket pre-flop. You always kind of want to save some for some live sprinkles, right?
Absolutely.
So any answer to that other question that I had? Like any kind of cool
Oh, you know what?
experience?
I should say this. I was never on the PGA Tour playing. I did play with it, like tournaments. I'm in Michigan. I did play tournaments in Michigan, and in Florida, I would play on their winter tour.
Oh, that's
Um,
cool.
yeah, so I met some really cool people. Not the top guys, but I met some really cool people. And truthfully, I've been teaching for 45 years. I've teach some of the like baseball players and different thing, hockey players, and it was so much fun. Hey, just meeting them, finding how normal they are. They're not stuck up and cocky and blah blah blah. I've been
What
very blessed.
what sport has the greatest crossover with golf? Is it like baseball because you have a similar swing where you need to like bring your entire upper
Hockey.
body with it? Hockey. Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
The reason is emotion to me. A slap shot in hockey is very similar to a golf swing. Very similar.
So you're saying there is Happy Gilmore could have happened?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yes. Yes. But I mean, if you think about it, Baseball, you're much higher. You're more at waist high and everything. In golf, we're down to the ground. And same with hockey, the puck's on the ice. When
that makes sense.
they're winding up.
Have yet to play a real round of golf. I have gone to Top Golf a number of times. I would absolutely love an opportunity to practice with you or just whatever. But I did notice that where I went over the ball a few times instead of through the ball,
right,
as a baseball player.
Well, it's natural when the ball sits on the ground. We're not used to an object not in motion. We're used to things in motion in sports. So when it sits there, it captures all our attention, and we tighten up and we tense up as we get to the ball, even though it's so light and small. We don't really swing past the ball. We swing at the ball.
Yeah, that's true. It's also true. Something that I work on in my own baseball swing is follow through. You never want to hit the ball just where the ball is. You definitely want that full swing. And playing that VR golf, same thing's true. Where I'll hit it 300 yards if I have that proper follow through. To be fair, this is VR golf, not real golf. I understand that I cannot hit it 300 yards in a real course. But yeah, that follow through is real.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, the ball's not the target. We're not done at the ball.
Amazing. All right. I think that's going to do it for us, Prince, unless you have any other thoughts, Drew. Anything else you want to add or any kind of questions or stories that you have to share before we close out our show and recap our best bets?
No, nothing for me. I think it's been a great show. But yeah, I don't have anything else to say.
Drew?
No, nothing on my end.
All right. And by the way, Brian, thank you again so much. This was an awesome show. I loved the extra information that you infused our show with just to get us ready for the US Open. I think this is probably the premier event in the PGA, if I'm not mistaken, right? But let's recap our best bets.
I wonder if he's still with. He might not be with us because I do have one more question. Maybe I'll ask him off air. Brian, are you still with us or are you gone? We'll see. We'll wait a second, see if he responds. If he doesn't, I'll
this
ask
is
him
called
off air.
taking advantage.
I'm here.
You're there. Okay, perfect. All right, yeah, cool. Okay, one more question for you, Brian. As I'm just thinking here, as Mo just asked if this is the prestigious tournament on the court or on the tour. Probably that would be the Masters, right? For one, I would say the Masters is probably the one that's the most prestigious tournament on this tour.
Yes.
But having said that, it got me to another thought because I know wind is from what I've read here, wind is a major factor in this tournament coming up here this weekend. And when I think of wind, I think of they used to call it the British Open. Now it's just called the Open Championship, I think. But wind is always a massive factor there. Is this tournament coming up here comparable to the Open Championship in terms of I know they're probably from my recollection, there's not as much water hazards necessarily on the British Open, but the wind is very much in play. In terms of the wind, is that kind of a similarity here that we're looking at?
Very similar because most of the open courses, just like the US Open this year, they don't have many trees. It's wide open. So the weather affects things much more than at many courses.
Okay, perfect. Okay, yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. All right, cool. Thank you so much for that.
Welcome.
Brian, can I bother you to recap your best bets real quick?
Okay. For the winner, I have John Rahm and Matt Fitzpatrick. Do you want the prices or just the names?
If you have the prices in front of you, I'd add the prices, but we will be posting this out on our recap screen and on the article, so people will be able to find it for sure. Whatever's easiest for you, man.
No, it's no problem. Winner, I've got John Rahm at plus 1175, Matt Fitzpatrick plus 2300. Top 20 and ties, Patrick Reed plus 152, JJ Spawn plus 176. I have a top 30 in ties, Cameron Smith plus 190. And I have a top 40 in ties, Alex Noren plus 100. Then for tomorrow's round or Thursday for the round one, I have 2 3-ball round one matchups. Patrick Reed over Kurt Kitayama minus 128. Victor Hovland over Bryson DeChambeau minus 105. And then I have 2 overs on their round score of round 1. I have Bryson DeChambeau over 73.5 minus 115. And I have Sepp Straka over 73.5 minus 116. And that's all of them.
That's phenomenal, man. I'm very much looking forward to this tournament. Also, if you guys are not familiar yet, you can download the PGA Tour app, and you can track the players that you bet on, so that you always have the ability to see where they are, what they're doing, and kind of get alerts if they are hot or not, so that you can make live plays as well. And again, we're not sponsored by anybody, so this is just what the tools that I use personally. All right, Drew, I'm going to go to you. Let's recap our best bets, and then I'll go, and Prince will close us out.
Yeah, I have Shohei Ohtani over 17.5 outs at minus 157, and then England three-way money line at minus 140. You can use the DraftKings. If they tie, you basically still win. So I think that's really good value, what they mentioned.
Yep, 100%. I got the Mets first 3 money line minus 130. Prince, close us out.
Yep. So for today, guys, we're looking at the WNBA. I'm gonna take the Storm Fire under 161.5 at minus 110. We're also gonna look at the Connecticut Sun team total under 80.5 points at minus 105. Give me the Vegas Aces on the money line parlayed with the Valkyrie on the money line at plus 119. In baseball today, we're gonna take the White Sox team total over 2.5 with the Cardinals team total over 2.5 at minus 135. And in the World Cup tomorrow, these matches take place on Thursday. We're looking at Canada on the money line plus under 3.5 goals. That comes in at minus 115. Then we're also looking at Czechia, South Africa, both teams to score at minus 105. That's going to do it for us today, guys. This has been the Only Bet Sports Podcast Wednesday edition alongside Stern Bets. Drew Lukian of the Prince of Picks. Big shout out to Brian, as always, for his great golf, PGA analysis, bets, and looks. We'll be back again tomorrow live on XN Only Bets Podcast, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Appreciate you guys as always. Let's have a great afternoon. Let's catch out these tickets, and we will talk to you all soon. Thank you.